It started to record it. This is Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show or do a special on our show called Life, Laughter, Happiness. Now, uh, today, one of our we're still waiting on our host Barbara, but until then, that's fine. We're going to be interviewing one of our regulars, Dayle Schear. Are you there, Dale?
Yes, I am here. Can you see me okay?
Yeah, I can see you fine. Now, Dale, let's see if we can figure out where to begin. What got you
Sit back,
started?
Jonathan. Sit back and relax. There we go.
What got you started in being a psychic?
That's a very interesting question. Uh, I was born a psychic, and my whole family is psychic. So it was just a natural occurrence. We didn't call it psychic then. We didn't call it. You know, it just It happened because my parents didn't discourage it.
Okay. Well, when they didn't discourage it, I mean, like, how so? Because I know how most parents who would discourage it would do, or how would they act, but
Sweetie, you need to sit back a little bit so I
okay,
can see
okay,
you. There we go. Yeah.
okay.
Okay, what were you saying? I don't know where Barbara is, but we're
Yeah,
waiting
it's
for
okay.
her to come in. I know Richard is in. I can see he's in. Hi,
Yeah,
Richard.
it's yeah, Dick Conrad is the name. Yeah. Now his picture is not showing, but we do see him here. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, I can see that he's in the room. So this is our first. Uh, what are you doing?
I'm just texting Barbara, letting her know I'm starting.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and ask me whatever you want to ask me because I want to
Now,
keep this.
when you do, I mean, because I know that were your parents psychics?
Not psychics. My grandmother, my mother, my father were all psychic. My
Okay.
whole my whole family. So like I said, it was a very natural occurrence. Extremely.
I mean, when did you realize that that's who you were? Because obviously you must have realized you were different from other kids.
I beg your pardon.
Well, when you're psychic, you are. I mean, don't you think?
Sit back.
Sorry.
Okay. The I thought I was normal and everybody else was not normal because I could see things and know things, and I thought everybody could do that.
Yeah. I mean, when you, I mean, can you give me an example of something that happened when you were a kid that was involved about that?
I mean, as far as knowing things, um, funny. I would have friends and I would tell them things, Jonathan, like be careful, your brother's going to trip and fall, or there's going to be a car accident. Just blurt it out. And then it would happen, and then I would not have a friend anymore. I mean, if I told my friends anything that was out of the norm, then what occurred was, I wouldn't have any friends because they thought
Okay.
I was weird.
Do you
Is
think
that?
that if you hadn't been a psychic, what do you think you would have done?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Well, I've done a lot of things. I mean, besides being psychic, I was telephone operator. I was a blackjack dealer. I dealt 21 at Harvey's for 4 years. I didn't tell anybody I was psychic then. Um, I just had a lot of jobs, one after another, and was trying to find my way in life. But an interesting question. I would do something connected with travel. If I were younger, I would have a show that would put me, out in the world where I could travel and show people what it was like, in different places like Hawaii, Fiji, wherever places I've been, and I would like to show people what it was like, a travel show.
Hmm.
I also am totally into photography.
I think that's a good question because this is a good lead into the next question. Before the show, you showed me your books, and I noticed that you had a lot of pictures in it. That's-
Yes,
So why don't you show me one of your books? Because I noticed that it was a very picture-oriented book.
it's called Aloha Hawaii,
Okay.
and it's called The Richard Effect. This is one of my books I've written.
Now, why is it called the Richard Effect?
I always get asked that. Um, because he was a Navy man for 20 years. He was a photographer, and I met him in Hawaii, and he taught me a lot of things. So, because he taught me um, right from wrong and all kinds of things, uh, I named it the Richard Effect. And
Now, is
here's
that
one of,
Conrad?
yes, this is one
Mhm.
of his pictures. Can you see it?
Well, that's a very good picture, Richard. That's a very good picture.
It's
Wow. I
awesome.
mean, yeah.
I mean, this is one of my books. Love the big waves. So this is my thing, is to do the big waves and show the big waves. Can you
I
see it?
understand. Yeah, yeah. I do see that. That's amazing. Now, you love. I mean, is this so? This isn't a book that shows all like that talks about you being psychic. Does this have a book that just talks about the effect or the psychic effect of being in Hawaii or something?
No, this is a spiritual book. This was a book about my passion, which is love taking waves, pictures of waves and photographing them using different, I want to use different types of cameras to uh, see what I can do because I can't go into the water like the surfers. A lot of friends of mine in Hawaii are surfers. So, I've learned a lot by hanging around surfers. This is the latest book I've written called
Hmm.
Aloha Hawaii. Only can be purchased. I can get it to people online,
Right.
and for $10, I mean, I can if they gave me their email address, I could send them a copy of the book. I've also written a psychic book called I don't know what happened to Barbara, but it's okay.
I
The
don't know. Don't
psychic
worry. I mean, she'll begin soon, I'm sure.
okay, the psychic within, and this is about being psychic. And here's a picture of me when I was young.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah,
Now, when was this book written?
it's a good question. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't. Um, 1994. This was written, but
Now,
it
that
was
was
called the
around the
psych.
O.J. Simpson thing. I remember
Yes,
because I looked you up on YouTube, and I did see an interview with you um, on the O.J. Simpson case, and you were like saying, "Okay, well, what's in the envelope?" And if memory serves me right, you said it was sharp, something sharp, right? Do you remember that?
yes, of course I remember that. But I
Yeah.
didn't know it'd be on YouTube. That blows me away. I mean, yeah, I worked on the O.J. Simpson case for hard copy for 2 years with Doug Bruckner, and how I got involved with that. Sit back, Richard, so I can. Okay, I can't see you when you come forward. Okay, um, the how I got involved with the O.J. Simpson case was I was working for hard copy on other cases, and I was in Hawaii and I saw the white uh, Ford or Chevy, whatever that was, the four-wheel drive, and they said it was O.J. Simpson running away, so I was taking a look, but I didn't pay too much attention. I'm not a football fan, or really, I love baseball, but I'm not a football fan. So I didn't really even know who he was, except for I made a phone call to Doug Bruckner, and I said, who's O.J. Simpson? And he explained. I said, what's this all about? He goes, why don't you tell me? I go, what? I don't even like orange juice. It was just like, he, you got that. So I said, they brought me into the case for 2 years, Jonathan. And in that 2 year span, what I did, they gave me envelopes, they gave me stuff to put things, the pieces together to the puzzle. So I was their psychic, is what I was. And I was able to tell them things and give tapes. I always tape record my sessions because as a child or when I was young and I went to psychics myself, I could never remember what they would tell me. So when I became a psychic, I would record all my sessions and hand the tape to the person. That's what I did. And so I did that with the OJ case. I taped everything. And
Now,
I handed one tape to Marcia Clark. And she was blown away of what I had to say about her in her future. Everything has happened. And I'll never forget, she was on TV one day, CNN, and she goes, this psychic told me everything in my future, which was me at the time. And then she says, I wish I could find her. Everything she told me was right. I mean, because I told her she'd write a book, she'd retire. I just told her all these things. And it happened. So I worked.
So we get off scot-free. But, I mean,
Yeah,
let
but
me ask you this. Do you have any interpretations of what happened that night? I have talked to people who have met OJ, and I think, obviously most people believe he did it. But I guess the question is what happened that night? What led?
yes, I can tell you how I know what happened that night.
What happened
Uh,
that night? In your
the
opinion?
very interesting, but don't forget he's still alive. I don't want to say too much, I don't really
Okay,
need somebody coming after me, but
you're right. You're right.
the
I
the
suppose
Nicole.
that's a good point.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying I have heard lots of stories about what happened that night.
Okay, the Nicole Brown Simpson family. Uh, I looked at the mother and I told Doug Bruckner, she's psychic. I want to talk with her. And she lived in Laguna Beach. And they called him and they said yes, they wanted to meet with a psychic. And I was taken over to the condominium in Brentwood where it all happened, where the murder happened. And
Hmm.
it took me over 3 hours to pass through the psychic force field of death to get into the house. It took me that long.
Why that long? I mean, why would
The
it take that?
energy was just too profound, very profound. So finally, I got into the house, and my field is touching things. I
Right.
touch, which is called psychometry, to see into the past, present, and future. And I would touch and tell them what I felt. I have Nicole Brown Simpson's last cigarette that she smoked. I have drawings from the kids. I have the ashtray that was given to me. What I saw is I wrapped myself in the clothing of Nicole and I sat out in the front where the murder occurred. Okay?
Okay.
Now you got to understand what you saw on TV. That looked real far. It was maybe 3 feet from the house to where the crime was. So I wrapped myself in the clothing of her, of Nicole, and I rattled and made a tape. And in that, I saw OJ having a very bad day. He had broken up with his girlfriend. Um, he just had a bad day. He was known to go over to Nicole's house and stalk her and to see who her new boyfriends might be. They had a love-hate relationship. I mean, he did love her. He loved her too much to the point of what he did. And I saw that the glasses and the young man Ron was delivering the glasses, and in my head I saw visions of that, and I saw that she came out of the house, and he thought Ron was a boyfriend, and he had planted around the condo in the dirt. He had knives. So at that point, he decided to do away with them. The odd thing was he never killed the dog. And I had some weird encounters with the animal, with the dog.
Now, why is that weird not to kill the dog?
Well, if you're going to kill everybody, wouldn't you kill everybody, not just, one or two people? He didn't kill the dog. But anyway, he got away with murder at that point. And he even wrote a book. If I were to have killed her, this is how I would have done it. But anyway, I reported my findings to hard copy and to the Nicole Brown Simpson family. In fact, I went over to Laguna Beach where they lived and was in the house and saw the dog actually at a certain time reenact the whole murder. Very weird. Started barking, started doing all kinds of weird things. But I was there when OJ called. You got to back up so I can see you.
Okay.
There we go. And it was. I don't go after these cases that are big. They come to me. It's very weird. I was a psychic detective. My teacher was Peter Herkos, one of the greatest psychics of the century, and he finessed my ability. But I don't go after anything. It just comes to me. I just had one in Hawaii that just landed 4 years later. And everything I said happened. I think, Jonathan, being a psychic, and good, what gets me upset is I'll tell people things and something, and then they come back 2 or 3 years later and they tell me, hey, everything you said is true.
I think that it's funny because I was gonna make a comment on that.
Excuse me.
It's okay. I have heard a lot of psychics say, "Oh, I predicted 9/11. I predicted 9/11," and in my opinion, nobody predicted 9/11 because it happened.
That is correct.
And in other words, it's like you said, they don't listen to you. Well, what's the point of the prediction being made if the people aren't going to listen to you anyway? I mean, okay, yes, you maybe you felt something about 9/11. I'm not saying you didn't. It's possible you did, and maybe you felt like
I didn't.
What?
I did not, because I'm not a world predictor. Once in a while, I'll get those visions. But...
There are some, I'm sure, there may have been like a world.
How it can happen is this way. 9/11 was planned by the attackers, and
Right.
they were thinking about it. So the people that are into that stuff caught some of the debris in their head, and that's how it could happen. But I had no clue about 9/11 because I do one-on-one readings, or I like,
Yeah.
it's psychic detective work. That's my specialty. Every psychic has a specialty. We're not all the same.
And not only that, I'm just saying that you understood my comment. I mean, it's kind of like, well, that's fine, but nobody was able to prevent it. I mean, now if you were
You
able to
can't
say,
prevent it.
you know,
You couldn't have, Jonathan. This was done, and to be honest with you, two planes hitting the Twin Towers. There's no way. There is no way anybody would know those buildings would fall to the ground if they hit it just right. There's just no way. And I've heard a lot of people say it wasn't real and it never happened. Come on. That's like saying Nazi Germany never happened.
yeah, I know, and it's such a, and that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, it only really matters when when somebody makes a prediction of something bad happening, and then you prevent it. Then that matters. So, in my opinion, no psychic really predicted 9/11. You know,
I agree. But I have to tell you something. You've heard of Sylvia Brown, right?
yes.
Have you? Okay. Was never a big fan of hers because I had to clean up her debris in San Francisco, and so did my teacher. I mean, she would just come out with names and all kinds of things, and was not correct. But she had a following that was humongous. But she wrote a book about the future that I downloaded it. And in that book, there was a passage. I don't know where she got the information, but she said in the year 2020, there would be a pulmonary, like pneumonia virus that would sweep the nation. And it would disappear just like it came. Now, that was one prediction she was right on. As,
Well, except for the part about it will disappear as soon as it came, that hasn't come true yet.
no,
It's
not as soon as it came. It would just, like Trump says, it'll disappear. It will disappear, and then it'll come back 10 years later. Um, most of the stuff and stuff she had said was, not my cup of tea. But anyway, moving on. What else would you like to know? I don't know what happened to Barbie, but it's
it's
okay.
okay. It's okay. Well, I mean, she's probably busy doing something pretty important. Otherwise, she
That's
would be here.
okay.
But I mean, my question is that you don't have
And
any
you're
kids.
doing a very good interview.
Thank you. Do you have any kids?
I have no children. I've had 5 miscarriages, though.
Why?
Uh,
Why five?
I don't know. Ask God. I don't know. I've had 5 miscarriages. I have had. I have dogs. I'm an animal lover.
Oh, well, that's true. I know that about you. I mean, it's something to. It's amazing. You know, we almost like my sister Cassie, who is staying with us. Apparently, my father says that my mom says she's gonna stay with us until she gets vaccinated. And you know, when we were growing up, to be quite honest, the dogs were never mine. They were Cassie's because Cassie took care of it. Cassie was always the motherly one with the dog. She was like, you know, and
No, I love
and
animals.
yeah, she had an instinct with dogs. She had an instinct with cats. You know, and then she would. I mean, she was the maternal one when it came to animals,
No,
and
I love them.
she
I love
and
animals, and that's the
about
love
20
of
years
my life.
ago, she had a cocker spaniel, and the cocker spaniel passed away. And what happened was that she went and she got a chihuahua. Now you want to know why she got a chihuahua?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Okay, I'm gonna let you in on a little fact. Okay, when it comes to the life expectancy of
Oh,
dogs, chihuahuas live the longest. Did you know that?
I'm sorry, you just froze. They,
Chihuahuas live the
yeah, they
longest.
live to be about 17 or 18.
Right. It's the big dogs that usually live to be 7 or 8, and then they pass away. So the rule of 7 years for humans doesn't really apply to Chihuahuas. There also is interesting is that you just carry she carries little Sophia around. That's her name, and it's um it's interesting because I've had some people tell me that Sophia. We used to have a dog named Hazel,
Hazel.
and Hazel was a cocker spaniel, and I've heard people say that Hazel was that Sophia is the reincarnation of Hazel.
I've heard people say that with dogs. I have heard that. I
I don't
think
know if that's yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
we're all reincarnations of something.
I know.
I
Well,
really believe that. But
I think we've been on the air for about 30 minutes. So, did you? Is there anything you want? Have you showed us all your books?
yeah, well, I have the book Believe,
Right.
and that's Believe. It's about having enough faith in your own convictions to turn your life around. This book will warm the very heart of your soul. And there's
Okay.
magic in believing. There are times we may not see the light, but the light's always there and it's always shining to guide us to our next adventure. So this is a book, Believe, about helping people. I've written 5 books, including the last one, the Aloha Hawaii, and I'm going to write another one, probably with Richard. I'm going to write another one.
About
Uh,
what?
I don't know yet. Something with photography because he was a world-class photographer. He met presidents. He's a very nice person. Uh, I've learned a lot from him. He's 92, going to be 92 this week.
Oh, his
And
birthday's coming up.
yeah, he's a Leo. So I don't know. I want to write another book and I want to do it with him. So we'll see what happens. I don't know yet, but we'll see. And
Okay.
I've
Are
written
those all
one
your
of my,
books?
huh?
Are those all your books?
No, I have An Angel Over the Airwaves. It's about
Okay.
a love addicted, you'll love this, a love addicted codependent angel. I have, I have Dare to Be Different. I have Tarot for the Beginner, how to read the cards. I taught at the Lake Tahoe Community College. I taught Tarot for a while and how to read the cards. So I
Okay.
have 5 books or 5 or 6 books, but let me give you my website,
Of
which
course.
is, yeah, give you all the info, and then you can call me after the show. Dayle, Dayle, Schear, SCHEAR.com, my official site. All my books are on there, but the publisher just retired. So the only way you can get the books, I haven't had a chance to put them on Amazon yet. I've been busy, but you can get any book you want by just calling me. My number's on there.
Okay.
And
What I'll do is I will make the title of this thing that I'm going to put on Blue Jeans your website.
oh, okay. And then
Yeah.
my phone number's you can call me 808-372-1816, and I'm in
And I'll
Nevada.
put
And we're
that up
having
on
another show tomorrow. I hope. Usually I know, and um, that if she didn't show up, there's a darn good reason, and maybe we'll do it again.
Yeah. All right. Okay. That's
Barbara said,
great.
because I really want to do this as well with Barbara, do something.
I know.
Um,
We will. We will.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, that was great. Thank you for coming
you
on.
were
I'm going to
great.
stop recording.
Thank you.